Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Sportycast, episode 127 of the 343 podcast. We just had some technical difficulties for a couple of seconds. But my name is Riaz Parker, and I'm joined today by Ziad and Jason. How's it going, boys? Ziad, you right?
Yeah, all good, man. Just a quick one. How's the sound? All good? You can hear me well?
Can hear you perfectly well, my friend.
Nice. I don't have any mic issues. Jason, what you say, my man?
I'm all good, guys. I'm all good. I'm happy to see Riaz. It's been a while. I don't know if he's been avoiding us or if he's just been doing it right and really taking a break during the off season. But yeah, happy to be back, man. I watched my team win a trophy today, so it's a great start to the preseason.
What trophy was that? Just remind me.
The Trident champions. You'll never sing that.
Okay, fair enough. We're gonna get to that.
I definitely will not sing that.
Yeah, I will also never sing that. 100%.
No, you just sang it, my boy. Yada, come on now. I mean, it's like basically like me singing something about the Audi Cup, right? So basically similar,
Exactly.
I think.
Yes, you see, I didn't want to say it, but I'm glad you did.
But yeah, so in today's episode, we are going to be covering some preseason matches that have been taking place this past week. We finally got some game time for our teams. Yours and mine, and United played as well. Brighton have played a couple of games. Liverpool have played a couple of games as well. We're then going to go on to some transfer talk, of course, and then we're going to end off with choosing our favorite. I'm not going to say favorite. Let's just say the GOAT FPL. It's in the title. Let's just say the GOAT FPL striker. Between the three of us, we'll come to a consensus as opposed to choosing our own one. I thought that would be much more fun to try and find a consensus.
One. That's your consensus.
No, like all three of us will come to. I feel like it's going to be good. It's easy enough, consensus to come to, hopefully. But yeah, I've been around. You know what I mean? It's I took a bit of a break, I suppose, but I've missed you guys. It's good to be back with these lovely fresh faces here and all you guys in the chat as well. Get your comments in the chat as we're moving on to the episode. Okay, Mubin.
First one already. Spoilers.
That's not a good start, Mubin. I'm not going to lie to you. You might be in somewhere around there, but we'll discuss that a bit later. We want to start off with some preseason. Like you guys mentioned earlier, Arsenal start their preseason today against AC Milan in whatever cup you were singing about. Jason, since you were singing the song, talk to me about the game. How do you think it went? What are the kind of... Is it a bit too early to kind of see what's happening? How's the new players settling in?
I think it was only the second preseason game we played. We played against Watford, I think, in the week leading up. It was behind closed doors, so it was good to see where the guys are. I mean, it was an exceptionally long season for some. Some had international commitments, so it was good to see some of them there. Some of them were not. But yeah, I managed to see Christian Norgard play some minutes. I managed to see Martin Zubomendi, which was pretty interesting to see him in a red jersey. One that I like, or not even a red actually, just an Arsenal jersey because we actually played in the blue today. I saw Kepa for a bit, and then quite a few of the youngsters. So first game, can't really tell much. It's also against a very, I don't know, AC's sort of been on a decline for a few seasons now, so it wasn't going to be much of a challenge, but there were certain moments that actually pressured us. But yeah, good to watch football again. It feels like we didn't take a break, but now we're back. So now let's just get stuck into preseason.
Oh, we love it. And I mean, the preseason is where we're going to see all kinds of different things, all the different players, the new players in the positions that we bought them for. Ziad, tell me about your thoughts about the game. Was it good to see Zubomendi, Norgard as well? I think he started the game. We're not going to comment on the beard thing because I think I'm going to lose that battle. But just tell me a little bit about the game there, Ziad. How you felt about it?
No, there's literally nothing to say. I mean, the game was hidden behind a £10 paywall. And Jason found a workaround somehow. But for me, preseason isn't that big of a deal, man. It's about getting minutes, getting guys to develop some chemistry. And the results really don't matter. You just want to see players in certain positions. So it gives you an idea of the strategy and the tactics and stuff going forward. And obviously by winning, you get that confidence, build some momentum. But that's about it. I think we'll see, as we get closer to the season, what things are really looking like. But it's just, as fans, it's good, when your club gets out there again and you have something to watch, highlights or whatever the case is, and that anticipation for the season, kind of ramps up a little.
A few things.
I think
just
you made a good point.
look from an Arsenal perspective, firstly, and I mean, maybe this might be for other clubs as well. Sorry, just to break the word there. It's like we've still got a lot of people that we want to get rid of. So it's a chance to like show clubs, okay, look, these guys are still able to play. I think, case in point, Alexander Zinchenko started today. So I'm thinking, okay, you know what? Maybe somebody can come in for him. If he wants more game time, sure. But I think as preseason ramps up, certain teams might have a bit of a harder start to their season. So I think this preseason becomes a bit more tricky for Arsenal because I think the first 6 is like very, very difficult fixtures. I think we can't overlook the value of getting the correct minutes and playing with the correct players in the correct time and all those things, especially if we're going to want to make a good start to the season. So whether it's the same for all clubs, I think, preseason, the season was so long, then there was a postseason tournament for some teams. So preseason, might be different for some teams, but yeah, I think for most that want to get a good start, you have to really start putting things together from like at least your third game into the preseason to actually start to show some sort of consistency, because I think we've seen in the Premier League specifically, if you start slow, it becomes very hard to catch up because teams are strengthening. Everybody around you is starting to strengthen. So you have a bad start, you on the back foot, and that proves a bit challenging in the long run.
Yeah, 100%. And both of you kind of have brought the point of where it's not really about the results. It's more about seeing the team in a cohesive manner and seeing where new players fit in and how maybe even giving minutes to players that you want to send out and sell just to prove that they can actually play some football. But Ziad, I want to ask you about Nwaneri, right? I think he played as a cam today, if I'm not mistaken. Is that like somewhere that you think that he's going to kind of come into his own there as a cam, or do you think he's going to still be a sub for Saka on the right-hand side? Because now that you have Madueke, you have support there for Saka on the right.
Yeah, no, and Eri's spot is that spot, right? He's more of cover for Odegaard, I reckon, or competition, depends how you want to put it. His primary position is not out wide. He can just cover there, obviously, because he has the pace. But I think he's more suited to a central role where he can get on the ball more, and he might get that opportunity if Odegaard doesn't pick up his form. Last week, I think Ramiz was calling for Odegaard's head. So if that does happen, then a guy like Nwaneri will be in the mix. He's definitely better off playing centrally. Yeah, I think he needs to be on the ball more and move around. Yeah, look, I go with the 1 ear because I got to keep 1 ear open to see what's happening in this house. I can't be cut off with noise cancelling headphones and not know what's happening in the house.
I think it's also for the stadium.
Yeah, as somebody that watched the game, I think Ethan Nwaneri played very well. Obviously, only got 45 minutes, but there's more from him that you see in the central areas because he's more comfortable in that space. I think I'd love to see Miles Lewis-Kelly playing more centrally, like actually playing in the midfield. That would be an interesting little dynamic, especially because that's his preferred position. He's just done exceptionally well out of position. But yeah, I echo Ziad's statement. I think he's going to run Odegaard very close because he's playing with the fearlessness that maybe Odegaard feels a bit of pressure now. And yeah, maybe it brings the best out of both, which is what I want ultimately for the team. But yeah, definitely one to keep your eye on.
I think it's going to be interesting, especially if you sell Zinchenko, because then the left back spot kind of becomes a bit light, because Calafiori, I think, played at centre back when he was in the field. So the left back spot, having sold Tierney and selling Zinchenko, kind of might be, without Lewis-Kelly, a bit light. Is there are you looking at any specifics there, Jason, in terms of who can kind of start there, or is it just going to be Lewis-Kelly for the season?
Yeah, look, it seems that way. He sort of nailed it on. But if Calafiori does go to left back again, which is also fine, I think he does exceptionally well. Then the reason he played centre back today was probably because Gabriel is still not back to full fitness. And I mean, he's just really slotting in there. I did like what I saw from Kivio in the second half. always rated him as a second choice centre back, and I mean he stepped up in a time of crisis last season when Gabriel
Yeah.
did get that injury. So yeah, the depth thing is going to be the most important thing for Arsenal. I think we've put together most of the pieces, with one of them soon to be announced, obviously. So I think the sort of leeway that Arteta is going to have is very little now. He's got almost everything that he's asked for. So now he's going to have to show. But yeah, also saying that every season that guy signs a new left back. So let's see who he's going to sign. He'll probably sign somebody else as well.
I think the issue is really like, I think the back four and the kind of the cover for the back four in general is really good. It's just that in specific positions, it's kind of lacking slightly. Like Kiwior can play, I guess, throughout the back four. So can Calafiori. So can Timber. And so can White, really. So I think that's a bit of the issue where there's just no specific cover for like a right back. With Timber's a right back and a left back cover. There's no cover for left back because Calafiori is covering for the center. Same with Kiwior. So I think that might be a bit of an issue. But Jason came up with something very important now, and he said that with the impending signing of the last piece of the puzzle, so to speak, kind of the season ahead, what do we think is going to be like the standard for the season ahead?
When you say standard, what do you mean, like for him specifically, or?
Him, because like Jason said, he's getting everything he's asking for. So in terms of a successful season, what are we thinking?
It's trophy or bust, bro. It's pretty self-explanatory at this point.
Okay, trophy or bust. That's interesting to note. So you're okay if you finish second, you get to the final of the Champions League, and there's no other trophies, and he's fired. Is that what the case is?
No, you asking me what it is, right? You're not asking my opinion. Essentially, if you hear
I wanna
all the
know.
noise, it's that for me. You'll have to see when we get there. At the end of the day, only one team can win, right? If it's not Arsenal, it might be someone else, whatever the case is. And I don't think we're better off with another manager. If you look around the Premier League, clubs have changed managers. I mean, we don't have to go far. If you look at Man United, for example, they got trophies, but every season they change the manager every 18 months. And then you go into that cycle where, the new manager needs 3 transfer windows. Then he gets his 3 transfer windows, then gets fired after the 3 transfer windows. And then the new guy comes in and he gets another 3 transfer windows. And then you go in that cycle of getting rid of players, or this is that manager's players. And for me, having gone through obviously a lean patch for a long time, I'm enjoying where we're at the moment. It's just now we're able to actually make progress in terms of winning something as opposed to just competing. But I'm okay. As a fan, I'm enjoying it, so I'm not too concerned.
I like that. Jay, your opinion, you same as Ziad?
Yeah, look, I've echoed this for last season a lot. There's nobody else that I think would be able to do what Arteta has done. And yes, he obviously has to win. I think it's not as simple, and he had mentioned that there are certain conditions that are out of his control. He can coach a perfect 11, he can coach a perfect game, and it cannot be that way. I think people sometimes seem to forget that. But yeah, I do believe that. I think after everything we've been through, without winning anything, all of it means nothing. Like, yes, we've now removed the sort of banter status that we had around us, to the latter parts of Wenger's time period. Nobody likes to play against us, dark arts and all of this nonsense. And it's fine. It's good because people sort of fear us again, which is fine. But if there's nothing to back it up, then unfortunately, yeah, I'm not saying we would have been further along with somebody else, but then it's sort of like, okay, so what have we really done? You have to look at it from that point. At the end of the day, it is measured on success. And as much as I am enjoying this journey, it's hard to back it up when there's no physical or tangible evidence to hold on to, besides the fact that we've gone from 8th, 5th, 2nd, 3 times in a row. I need something to end this, because this is then very similar to my teenage years where Wenger would run everybody close till March and then fall away, and it means absolutely nothing. So yeah, I think it's a very decisive season. I need one. I need something
It can
to
be
hold on
anything.
to.
Yeah.
Otherwise, yeah.
I mean, it's good to hear you guys say that, because I mean, I come from a place where even if you get a trophy, you get fired. So it's a bit difficult on
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
Uh, and like Ziad said, it's so difficult when kind of you you have this in, kind of 3 transfer window thing where each manager gets 3 transfer windows, and you have to kind of go in that cycle after winning something. It's so odd to kind of get to that situation. Or you can be like Chelsea and have a manager win the UCL, fire and next two managers, and then have another manager to come in and win the Conference League. I'm not going to give much to the Conference League winners, unfortunately, because it is the Conference League, and they have like 25 billion players to play in that league, and they've added a bit more. Let me know in the comments what do you think of Arsenal season. What do you think is going to be like? What do you think has to be the standard for them to actually to consider it a successful season? And yeah, I just want to go quickly to Spurs. Spurs played a preseason game against I can't even remember what it was, against Reading, and at some weird Cars Loan Stadium. It's a weird stadium name. But yeah, we played two different 11s in the two halves, and yes, AF, they're the champions of the world, but we don't need to give them any sort of more status. Come on now. Anybody can be champions of the world if they have 3 squads of 26 people, and they pump in 200 million every transfer window. It's ridiculous. But anyways, sorry, I digress. We saw Mohamed Kudus for the first time in the Spurs team, which was a really positive transfer, and I think he's going to be really important this season for us. We yeah, it was a difficult game in the beginning. We kept a clean sheet. The 18-year-old central defender Vuskovic, he came on and he assisted and he scored, which is a good sign for the
FPL.
no FPL.
Yeah.
What did you say, Jason?
BJ?
Yeah. I think I wouldn't suggest putting him in the FPL. I'll be honest with you, because I don't think he's going to play. But he's definitely, if he does play, definitely one to watch. I think he's 4.5. That was actually a great.
Mickey van der Ven has Jason's hamstrings, so he'll definitely get the game sooner or later.
Romero has Ziad's temperament, so he will definitely get time to play. So yeah, seen as we're just throwing body blows here.
Both fair points there. Both completely fair points. I'm not gonna lie. Rami's saying a successful season would be second in the league and a runner-up in another cup. I think that's also another body shot there, if I'm not mistaken. But okay,
I don't mind it. I need to see at least a top 4 from United. They don't have any other competitions to really worry about. They've signed Mbuemo, they've signed Cunha. That's the 2 strikers that they signed last season as well. Or not last season, they signed Xerxes last season. And then the season before, they got Hoyland. I'd like to see something from United as well.
Top 4 from the bottom.
No. I want to see top 4 from the top. Because everybody has an opinion. I have mine on them, so that's mine. But I think we'll obviously get closer to the season. We'll have predictions, and then I will see what the predictions would be.
It's going to be interesting. It's really going to be interesting. Okay, we'll start with our transfers quickly. And our first transfer that we're going to talk about is one that I don't think is going to happen. It's Illia Zabarnyi from Bournemouth to Spurs. A ridiculous fee of 61 million. I'm just going to look past that, because if you pay for that, it's ridiculous, seeing that we have that 18-year-old on the bench that is there if he doesn't go out on loan. And we bought Kota Takai for like 5 million. So if we do end up going for this, I honestly think that we only were kind of rumored to do this if Romero left, that doesn't seem to be that it's going to happen anymore, that Romero goes to Atletico. So if that happened, then I think we would have gone for this. But 61 million for this guy, he's a good centre back, but I unfortunately don't think that he's worth that 61 million. I think we were chatting off air that United kind of caused this nonsense in the first place by paying 75 million for Harry Maguire, which I totally agree with. And yeah, I think he's going to go to PSG. Get in the chat. Also, any transfer questions? Would you like? Where do you think people are going? Should we sign players? Get in the chat. Let's talk about it. But yeah, I think PSG are going to go in for this. If they do spend 61 million for Zabarnyi, it's going to be very interesting. But I highly doubt that. So I think we can chalk that as a highly doubt / maybe. Moving on to the next transfer we're going to talk about is AF's favorite player in the whole wide world, and it's Marcus Rashford. Ziad is finally going. It's finally there. It's finally here. The transfer we've
Yeah, I
wanted.
mean, this guy has done a remarkable job of making himself appealing. And there's a lot of talk about him. The champs are here. Yes, welcome, Asfar. There's a lot of talk about him. Obviously, everyone at United wants him out, and everyone's angry, and he's all these things. But at the end of the day, Barca wanted him for some reason, so we'll see how he does in that regard. And the same people who build the guy up are the same ones who are now trying to kick him out of the door. And
100%.
United probably the worst at this. There are lots of other clubs that do it, but I feel like United's the worst when a guy has a run of 10 games and he's brilliant and they're willing to pay him 300k a week. And then when he has 10 bad games and they're like, oh, we wasted our money or he should get out or whatever. But they themselves are the ones who create hype, because I'm still waiting for Kobe Mainu to do something, because he was supposed to be the next coming of Paul Scholes or whatever it is, and then now he can't even get in the team. Ugarte was bought for 50 mil, but the manager doesn't rate him because he can't pass apparently. Like it makes no sense as to how they push players up and then down within the space of a few weeks. So for me personally, I think Rashford's going to do well at Barca. If he doesn't do well at Barca, then he's not going to do well anyway. And the good thing for United is that they're getting his wages off the books. So they clear that money up, to spread that money through. They're paying Mbuemo, paying Cunha, whatever they're paying these guys. They'll be able to obviously get that wages off the book. But I don't know if we're going to talk about this but there's a couple of other United players in the shopping window that, they probably got a 90% off sticker on them, reduced, further reduced, because I don't understand why anyone would want a player that the club themselves are pushing down and saying, oh, we don't want this guy, he's this, he's that, whatever the case is. And I think I'll end off with Scott McTominay, who actually saved United a lot, was responsible for a lot of points when he was playing for United, and no United fan wanted him to start. They all wanted him out. Whenever he was in the starting lineup, there were moans and groans from everyone. Why is this guy starting? And he won the best player in Italy. So he must be doing something right. He scores goals for Scotland, scored goals for United. So I don't know what the lens is that they view the players through, which makes it quite interesting. But yeah, good luck, Rashford. Hope they register you so you can actually play. And I speak for Riaz and Jason when I say that we're looking forward, and AF said this as well, we're looking forward to seeing you go one-on-one against Trent Alexander-Arnold.
I mean, as long as he skins him, he's going to play backup to Rafinha, right? I think that's what he's going there for. He knows he's going to be a bench player. He'll play in some games when Rafinha is tired. But Jason Ziad was just talking, just before we move on to the next one, about the cut price deal that United is having to kind of put on these players that they don't really want. And I think that's like Sancho and Anthony, of course. Do you think that it's like, you think that, first of all, do you think that they'll be able to get him off the books? And second of all, do you think that it's worth it, just get the wages off the books and then just kind of reinvest that money somewhere else?
Yeah, look, I think it's down to their own inadequate management of these sort of players. So they pay an excessive amount and then they struggle because, like we've mentioned before, they change coaches, the tactics changes, they're doing all of this. So yeah, I think with this Rashford deal, I've always not liked when he had to play against Arsenal, because he's a great player. I think he just didn't fit the system. The way they handled somebody who kept them exceptionally relevant in this last few years is actually, it seems a bit crazy. Like, I think there was there were a few seasons where Rashford got like at least 12 to 15 goals that were decisive goals that kept United in games and in certain competitions and stuff like that. And even at Villa as well, I think he did well in that time period. So I think United have a bigger issue at hand in that I think it's the system that's not suiting the players that they're getting. So yeah, whilst it's nice to get players off the books and get the wages free and stuff like that, it's just going to come down to, are they going to sign players that's going to fit the system, fit the culture, or is it just going to be a little quick, get them in because we can get them at a cost price and then see if they can work. Now we can try a pre-proven like strategy, but if everything else isn't sorted, it's just going to fall on their face again and the cycle will repeat itself. So yeah, I think for all the years that Man United and Fergie terrorized all of our childhoods, this is like, look, I'm just enjoying the ride.
Yeah, I fully agree with you. The ride is definitely being enjoyed. But I'm hoping that obviously, like we said, Rashford is a really great player. I'm hoping that he does do good things there at Barcelona, and obviously that he terrorizes Trent Alexander-Arnold, like Ziad said. Moving on to the next transfer, and this is an interesting one. It's Ederson to Galatasaray, and for a cut price of 10 million. Jay, I'm going to start with you. Is that a bit cheap? I mean, we've seen ridiculous transfer fees that people are paying. Is this just because it's not a Premier League to Premier League transfer that it's so cheap, or is it just because like people think it's getting old, it's not worth it anymore? What's the situation here?
Yeah, I think, look, to be fair, his form has dipped a bit in recent years. I think maybe the last season or two he's played a bit of a bit part under Ortega as well. So yeah, I think the 10 mil is like a number of things. I think Galatasaray are probably shrewd negotiators, one. Two, the form has dipped. So yeah, I think City's also not in the market to maximize this sale because they've got a bucket load of money. And I mean, I think case in point, they signed Nico Gonzalez in Jan and now they want to sell him again. So they signed him for 60 mil. They're now saying that he's not really fitting into the system. So certain clubs have this sort of luxury, right? They can spend that cash and they can just get rid of them 6 months later. So Ederson sale's not going to change the way they spend. It's not going to change anything like that. I know that this does have a bit of a ripple effect, though.
Yeah, so if I can jump in there quickly. I think the thing is more that City is being put under pressure. And what I think is happening here is that City have a buyback option on James Trafford. And I think it's 40 mil, but I think it's one of those where first refusal. So essentially, with Newcastle lurking and a couple of other clubs interested in Trafford, if Newcastle bid for Trafford and City say, okay, we know, then he's going to go to Newcastle and City lose the opportunity to bring him back. So I think they're kind of being forced into a corner here where they have to think for the next 5 or 6 years, is Ederson going to be the goalkeeper or do they want to pivot to Trafford? And if their hand is forced, obviously Newcastle got as much money as them, if not more. If their hand is forced, I think they sign Trafford and then they obviously Ederson is not going to sit on the bench for anybody. So Ederson is then the one who then ends up moving on. Ederson said he doesn't want to leave. He said that he wants to stay at City. But sometimes, you get these players, it's just the challenge is over and they need to go do something else. And the Trafford situation, I think, is kind of 2 years too early for City. I think they probably want to do this a year or two down the line. But because Trafford played so well, they kind of being pushed into this situation.
That's
look, so that was going to be a second point because I had seen that today also about James Trafford. And under 21 keeper, you've got a good few years ahead of him. He's played some Prem. He's got some Prem experience with Burnley, I think, last season. And then this season, got a lot of championship experience. So I don't see why he wouldn't want to just be understudy for Steven Ortega, play the cups, get some of that experience. And like we say, Ederson, look, most of the games that he plays, there's very seldom that he's worked. The work that he does is because he catches on nonsense and he now needs to recover. But I mean, it's so easy for him. He's able to just pick the ball up, plant one over the back line and then get an assist. So yeah, maybe he does want something else. Maybe also Gala can offer. I'm not sure that they're gonna beat what City are offering him in terms of wage, but
but like I've said in the chat, Ederson and Osimhen. So Ederson over the top, Osimhen one touch, fire into the goal.
Easy.
That's going to be the
Easy does it.
heading.
Yeah. So no, I think look, 10 mil, but again, it's not gonna matter. They can get rid of him for free. They'll still have 300 mil to spend. So it's not a big thing.
Which is ridiculous, to be honest. But okay, that's some quality insight there, Phyllis. James Trafford buyback. I did not know about that, and that's a quality re-signing, I guess, if they do decide to bring him back. The next one is going to be Yoane Wissa to Newcastle, and I think that Newcastle kind of put a 25 million bid in for him, but I think that Brentford are holding out for 50 for some reason. I think it's that situation where United once again overpay for a player, and now Brentford have unrealistic expectations on what their player is supposed to cost. Ziad, how much do you think Wissa is actually worth? But also, do you think that he will be able to go to Newcastle or Spurs? I think.
Look, I think I'm the last person you want to ask about worth, because I feel all these deals are inflated. And I think the thing with Wissa obviously is, I don't think strikers did very well in the league last season. So the ones that have been doing well, even if it's, I mean, like Mbuemo and Wissa were together, they did fairly well. Their prices have gone up, right? Because obviously you have Isak and you have Haaland kind of in a tier on their own. People still talking a bit about Ollie Watkins, and he wasn't good at all last season. So the striker market is very thin within the league, which is why you're seeing these inflated prices. And honestly, it's tough for Brentford, because if they just keep losing players, what do? Again, they somehow do find players to fill in. So obviously Newcastle have lost Callum Wilson. Isak is still there. I don't think he leaves. I think he'll be there. But we've seen that he has fitness issues. So Newcastle do need a body up front. I just don't think Wissa is a smart move. We've seen this a lot in the league, and I always go back to Wilfred Bonny, as you know, one of those signings where he was like amazing at Swansea, but then when he moved to a bigger club, he just didn't do it. And there's so many of those. United signed Igalo, like players like that. I think they're playing at the peak, and if they do move to a better club, I don't think they get better. So if I'm Newcastle, I'd probably look for other players, and Brentford obviously want to keep a player who works well in their system.
Yeah, but we also don't know what
I think
it is.
It's crazy though. I think it's definitely also, and I'm saying it's one to watch, but it's definitely one to watch, because Brentford have lost Frank and their whole coaching staff, right? They've lost their captain, Christian Hogard. They've lost Ivan Toney a season back. They've lost Brian Mbuemo and potentially Yoane Wissa as well. So I think everybody's fairy tale story when they'd come up, Brentford, they didn't have any academy. They just had two teams, right? The first team and the under 21s. That was all they had. And they basically pulled up everybody from there. I'd hate to see them lose another one of their star players. And with no clear idea, I think, look, a handsome transfer budget of over 100 mil could be good for them. They could pull somebody out from the Belgian league and then somebody out from the Swiss league, and they will do well. But it's like they did so well last season, and now they basically have to restart if they lose their two top goal scorers. And
I think they'll be fine, man. I think they've got smaller clubs like this. They tend to have a lot of options that we don't know about, because they know they can sell players at any time. So if they get an offer that's too good to refuse, they'll sell, and they'll just buy, whoever they have on their list, a 20-year-old from whichever country, or, whatever the case is, and they continue them, Brighton, a couple of these clubs that are really good at this. They've got a depth chart that they tap into.
Yeah, 100%. And like I said, they lost Flicken as well. And as I was saying that they signed Hendo, which is true, and it's very good experience. There we go. It's like basically to replace Christian.
And didn't they sign Keller as well?
Yes, I think they did sign
Keller. I think Keller is going to be really good this season for them.
100%.
I mean, it's fine. They can keep clean sheets, but are they going to score goals? There's only so many goals that freaking Kevin Schade can score. Right, he's also just a kid. But
he's quite good. He's showing some promise, Kevin Schade, but without the
sounds like a future Spurs player.
Yeah,
fair. I wouldn't mind if he shows decent things. No, AF, let's not get carried away. Okay. Anyways, just because AF is on me now, let's go to my favorite transfer that we're going to talk about, and the last one that we're going to talk about, and it's of course Nicolas Jackson to Manchester United for 80
Michael.
million.
We spoke about Newcastle now, right? I think Nicolas Jackson would actually be good for Newcastle.
That's a good point. I see that actually.
Yeah, with that place that they have, Ilanga, Jackson, Gordon, Bonds, it could be interesting
Murphy.
in that. Jacob Murphy. Jacob Murphy should actually go to Brentford, bruh.
No, he's been one of the more consistent players last season, man. I think it's fine. But also, there's no way that United's going to have 80 mil for Nicolas Jackson.
They do have it.
Where
got
they
it,
find
bruh.
it? Nah,
they'll pay in installments for 10 seasons.
Bro, I told you this the other day. This stock price keeps going up. The value
and it's been going up, but they've also never invested it correctly. They've got a leaking roof. They've got a rat infestation. Use 80 mil, fix it up. Right? Sort all of that out. Make it a place people want to come. You're going to bring Nicolas Jackson. This man left
But I think Riaz made a good point. It also depends how they structure deals. Because the total is one thing, but what they pay upfront is another thing. Look, I like Jackson. I've always been a fan of Nico Jackson. He's probably a bit inconsistent. And again, like I said, with the valuations, you can't even look into it too much. Chelsea are very good at selling. So whoever they have in their front office that deals with getting players out is really good. He manages to get the values of the players up and sell them and whatever the case is. Like Remy says, Chelsea know how to recover money, which is very true. And they tend to, Arsenal, we buy from them as well. So I don't think Jackson to United makes any sense because I don't think he'll do well in that environment. But I think he will do well wherever he goes. And I think what he did at Chelsea was really good. There was actually a comparison which I told you guys about between him and Osimhen and a couple of other strikers, and he was punching with them. He was hanging with them, and he's playing in the Premier League, whereas Osimhen is playing in Galatasaray, for example. The other thing to consider with Jackson, AFCON. I think AFCON is at the end of this year, so when you're going for these players, you have to think about losing them for a certain period. And that should bring the price down. But this is honestly just a move from Chelsea to try and push people out because they obviously got João Pedro and he did well immediately. So now suddenly Jackson is surplus to requirements. And Nkunku, he's still a Chelsea player. I don't know where he's going to go.
Liam
obviously signed the lap. Was a great signing, I think. I like the lap. So, I don't see... I don't see this actually happening. But I do think Jackson's a good player, and I hope he does get a move somewhere where he gets to play, and he can just be free, man. Because him and Palmer actually worked well together.
True. True. I think also United. It doesn't make sense for United to buy him because they have the striker Rasmus Højlund. AF, that's for you. And he's going to score 20 plus goals this season. So you don't need Nicolas Jackson if you have Rasmus Højlund, who's going to score 20 plus goals this season.
You guys are both scandalous, both you and AF. Scandalous, my bro.
It's the truth. Get on the train, man. Get on the train. Anyways,
a chance.
We're gonna go quickly on to, just before we get onto our Premier League greatest of all time striker chat. We're gonna quickly just give you some news about the FPL that kind of came out this week. We have some rule changes to the FPL, like Ziad was telling us in this week as well. We were just when you think you're kind of not going to play it this season.
I was out.
They come and they change the rules. So we have a couple of changes that FPL have come out with this season. There's now defensive contribution points, right? So for both forwards and for defenders. For the forwards, they need 12 defensive contributions to get 2 points. And for defenders, you need 10 contributions to get 2 points. And 2 points is the maximum, right? So, and defensive contributions, we're talking ball recoveries, tackles, blocks, clearances, things like that. The second kind of rule change is we get 2 sets of chips now. There's no assistant manager. There's 2 sets of chips, one for the first set of the season and second for the second set. So we'll get 2 triple captains, 2 bench boosts, 2 wildcards as usual. So that's going to be interesting. The third one is that assists have changed. So even if the ball ricochets off somebody or something like that, it's still going to count as an assist. And then finally, the last thing is, as we spoke about earlier, that the AFCON is this year. So when the AFCON starts, it's going to be every single manager will get 5 changes, no matter how many subs they have. They have 5 free subs for that week to transfer out and sort out your team for all the players that will be missed. How do we feel, Jason, about these changes?
Look, I was going to stay, but now I think I'm on my way out. I don't think it's. I think it's silly. I think the double chips is silly. It's just it's making it. It's almost I don't know. It seems a bit overkill. I enjoyed it when you had to really think strategically about spreading 4 chips over a whole season. Now it's like you get a few months and then you're just gonna go. You're gonna get the same chips again. I think the defensive contributions, I don't know. Again, very subjective. What is an interception? What if he'll be getting an interception and somebody basically knocks him into the path of the ball, and that's a contribution. The assist thing changing as well. I think there's some finite rules to it. Like you have to if it's intended pass, but you're in the box, then it counts. But if it's an intended pass and you receive the ball in the box, but the thing is outside, it's not gonna count. Then it's like if there's 2 defensive touches in the box, then
For
it's
someone that's on his way out, he knows a lot, eh?
No, and it's
yeah.
I know this much that I'm thinking about, what, maybe let's just leave it because it's becoming too complicated to just, I don't claim to be, like, I've had maybe out of the 8 years I've played, I've probably had like 3 good seasons. Everything else have been mediocre. But this feels like so
the last 2 seasons, I feel like you've done very well, Jason.
Well, that says a lot because the last two some of our
I think that's his issue. He's now just starting to get the hang of it. Now they change it again. That's his real issue, man. I think that's the truth coming out there.
This last 2 seasons were some of my worst. So thanks for all of that. Both of you guys are trying to keep me there. It's not going to work. I'm saying all of this and I probably will play, but I'm saying now, at this moment on the 23rd of July, I'm not going to play. So yeah, I think it opens up too many things again to like, okay, are we going to debate this, whether it's a defensive contribution or not, and the assistance? Yeah, it's just a bit silly. It's my honest opinion.
Ziad, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, I was on my way out. I'm still not a fan per se. Like, my whole thing's got nothing to do with the rules. It's more, I don't like that everyone has the same players, man. So the fantasy sport that I play, I prefer that, you draft your own players and only I have that player and your team only has another player, which works well in the American sports. But yeah, for FPL, it's like, if you don't have this player and then you're screwed. So yeah, maybe I mean, I'll probably do it again, but I've got an idea, but I'm not going to reveal it yet. I've got an idea of what I'm going to do.
Trademark it.
I'll keep it under wraps for now.
I like that. I like that a lot. But Jason's looking after his piece. Finally, we've been waiting for Jason to look after his piece for years.
It's been too stressful, man.
I think the issue is like kind of like Jason said, for me personally, the double chips is the only thing that I kind of have an issue with. It's just the strategy when it comes to knowing when to use your chips throughout the season was kind of fun. And to take
it wasn't even that fun, to be honest, because everyone just waited for the double game weeks after the cups. Like it wasn't people weren't doing any amazing things, right? It was like, we're gonna wait till we get to FA Cup finals, semi-finals. There's gonna be a double game week, and then we'll do it. So it was like fairly obvious when people were gonna do things, man. So I don't think it's gonna change too much in that way. And you talk about strategy and stuff. It's definitely more complicated, but strategically, there's so much info out there. People just do all the same things. I mean, people all play the chips around the same time. Like there's very little deviation from the norm, to be honest.
which is what me and you try to trace. Yeah, when we go for
Exactly.
our
Like I used to actually play, and I never used to pick players from any of the top teams. So I was like, I'm gonna play, and I'm not picking any United, Liverpool, City at that time. And I was like, give myself random challenges to make it a bit interesting for me. But
You're
yeah,
so American, my bro. It's like Moneyball. Huh? It's like, so he's
yeah,
not
of
the
course,
best player, but he can get onto the base this
yeah, I
many
like that.
times
yeah.
and over the season. But I
And
just
then everyone sees a Bra score points
Cleveland
in
or
the copy.
something, man.
Like everyone
Yeah,
had him Buemo or whatever, right? Who was picking him at the beginning? Nobody. But
yeah.
then you get everyone's like, let's all take this player. Then you get AF who didn't want to pick Haaland at all. Um,
I have thought that he had, but he had Hoyland, man. He thought he was getting
picked the
Haaland
wrong
at a
one. He's
cut price. He got Haaland at a cut price, and he said, nah,
like,
got him.
Yeah, that's just because he told you that you can triple captain Gyökeres in that first game week. Yeah, so okay, low shots. But it's gonna be he's got his celebration and everything sorted.
Bane.
Okay, it's gonna be interesting to see how the Fantasy Premier League. I just quickly, just before we carry on to get to the goats. So what the last thing that I want to say is, to your points here, I really enjoy actually the weekly challenges that they give us, like
Yeah.
pick 5 defenders or have these players get 2 times points, things like that.
Yeah.
I really enjoy the weekly things, which I do like more often than I change my actual team. So that's
Yeah.
just the last thing I want to say about that.
Yeah, because I mean, you're actually busy changing the team that you support, so you can't change a fantasy team.
Yeah. Too much
It's not
change is
really-
actually going to make you a bit sick, yeah. No? Be careful, my friend.
it's too
Don't
much
get
loyalty.
disorientated here.
I can't. We want a trophy. Okay, I have to be loyal now. We have a
Nah, fair
trophy, even though my team can't be loyal. I have to be
Hey,
the one.
Chris Brandt said something about people being loyal. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah,
I don't know
people,
if
of
we can
course.
trust this.
No, we can trust him. He's the main guy. In any case,
Breezy
just
Bowl.
we're gonna move on now to the our last segment, and that is picking our. I keep wanting to say our favorite, but our GOAT EPL strikers list, our top 5. We're gonna pick in the chat. Get in there. Who are your top 5 Premier League strikers of all time?
Are we still
give us
doing it
some-
because Mubin already made the declaration that it's Cantona?
And everybody else
you
off.
see,
No, but I think AF wants to maybe go Hoyland in there. AF, look here,
Okay,
it can't
okay,
be a
let's go.
future pick, no? It
Hoyland
must
will
be
go in there.
guys that have played well, not guys that you think will play well.
Listen, look, I will eventually make a case for Hoyland, but so I asked you guys, obviously, so the guys that are with me this evening sent to me their kind of top 10, and I kind of mixed a few bit of people in there. So I'm gonna give a few honorable mentions from people who didn't make the cut. And Ian Wright, of course, both of you mentioned. I didn't really, I don't want to say why, but he didn't make the cut, unfortunately, to make the top 10. 213 games, 113 goals, 1 Premier League title. Quite a good striker, I must say. The second one that didn't make the cut was Ruud van Nistelrooy. I think he didn't score enough goals for me. He also only got 1 Premier League trophy. The reason why I chose to leave him out was the goals. He only got 95 goals, only 150 appearances as well, the lowest amount of appearances on the list that we got. And then the third one that I omitted is Michael Owen, simply because of the fact that he only won 1 Premier League and 150 goals, which is closer to the lower end.
Did you take into account his Ballon d'Or that he won?
I did.
Did you win that at Liverpool? Or did you win that at Madrid?
He won it at Liverpool, I'm pretty sure.
Just
I'm
checking.
pretty sure it was at Liverpool.
Checking.
But he was a close 11 to the snake. Of course, the snake, and just to rub it in, he did win the Premier League at United and not at Liverpool, just to let you know. But okay, so those are the 3 honorable mentions that we got. So I'm going to give you guys the top 10 that we kind of established, and then from there we'll eliminate one, pick one, and kind of have a Mo. How about you know what? Just for this stint at Spurs, I might give him a shot. But so we'll like pick what we'll have a discussion about who we think should be in there. We'll pick one, eliminate one. I'm going to come to Ziad about category, like or what are we choosing? What are we choosing it on? So our top 10 in general, without any order, is Jamie Vardy, Dwight York, Wayne Rooney, Eric Cantona, Harry Kane, Andy Cole, Didier Drogba, Alan Shearer, Thierry Henry, and Sergio Aguero. Those are our top 10 that we're going to be picking from. Ziad, give me kind of your kind of framework as to how we are going to be choosing this. What kind of criteria we're going to be using to kind of, or you're going to be putting forward to use to pick this kind of top 5.
Just vibes, man. Just vibes.
We're just going on vibes.
It's not overall goals for me. It's just who I
Okay.
thought the best was or is. Look, all these things all go the same way, right? Everyone has their own opinion. You choose one. How can you choose that guy? Blah blah blah.
That's what I want from this. Yes.
But yeah, I don't really have a framework. I mean, obviously, impact goals, that type of thing. How long? Like you left Van Nistelrooy out. Obviously, I just don't think he was in the Premier League long enough
Agreed.
to have that impact. And obviously, he left United for Madrid. So yeah, I think for me, it's just goals impact. And the thing I always think about is like, as a fan, who did I not? Obviously, if it was on my team, obviously that's great. But opposing strikers, who did I not want to play against or root against? So that's kind of where I was going with it.
I like it. I like it. Jay, what about you? Any framework that you kind of taking into this decision process?
Yeah, look, I think goals as a striker is what you are judged on. So I think that was a big thing for me. Also, just overall impact to team and league. And then, yeah, I think Ziad made a joke about vibes, but yeah, what is the sort of feel around them? Like, did they make it exciting to watch them? Did you think something was going to happen when they were playing and stuff like that? Yeah, there's a lot of good guys. There's obviously, I think, a big thing about strikers is the consistency element. So longevity for me is also a big thing. But yeah, I'm excited to see where we land on this top 5.
Okay, so let's, in that top 10, let's kind of eliminate one. Let's start there. Out of that top 10 that I kind of suggested, Ziad, who would you prefer to eliminate? Just one.
I mean, it's hard because you only have to pick 5, right? But I think off the bat, immediately, I'd probably say Jamie Vardy. Great season, great career also as well. But I don't think he's in the same category as some of the other guys that we spoke about or will speak about.
Agreed. Jason, you agree?
Yeah. I mean, look, obviously a cult hero for how he came into the Prem and what he did with Leicester. And yeah, there's a bit of consistency. But yeah, I think in and amongst everybody else, I would go Vardy out.
Yeah, I'm completely with you guys. He has quite a lot of appearances in the Premier League, surprisingly. For a person that came up and went down, a lot of goals as well. 145 goals, nothing to be shy about. But yeah, ultimately, I agree with you guys. Just in terms of that order that we were talking about, it just doesn't have the same one. Even though he scored like goals in consistent games for I don't know how many games. It was a lot of games. But yeah, Jamie Vardy, and to win a Premier League trophy with Leicester as well. I thought that kind of earned him a place in the top 10. But that's why I took him basically over Owen, simply because of that. But yeah, Jamie Vardy. Okay, Jamie Vardy is done. We have 9 players left. Let's pick one. Let's kind of pick one that we all agree with to go in that top 5. Jay?
I'm going to go Alan Shearer. We're obviously talking about, probably the top 3 strikers that have ever played in the Prem. So yeah, I'm going to go. Plus, one of the most iconic celebrations. Simple, classy, British.
Because he couldn't move anywhere else. I feel like
his limited joint mobility suited that celebration,
Of course, Shearer with 260 goals, the record in the Premier League, 441 appearances for both Blackburn and Newcastle. Ziad, do we agree with this? Are we unanimously putting him in, or is there a case for him not to be in the top 5, maybe the 6th one?
Nah, he's in for me. Definitely top 5. I'd also go along with Jason and say for me top 3. And the weird thing is, obviously, he only won the one league title with Blackburn, but that was, you could say that's similar to what Vardy did with Leicester. But the difference, I think, is that he could have. He carried Newcastle. He's just a much better player, I think all around talent wise than Vardy. Because like Jason said, Vardy had that cult feeling, whereas with Shearer he also had that, but it just seemed like 50 times more than what Vardy brought to the table. So I'm all in on Shearer. His stuff obviously only won Premier League if you're looking at that, but just the volume of goals and the way he did things, the way he played, you always felt like he was going to score. And that's the thing, man, that when you spoke about vibes, just to have a striker on your team, you always felt like you were in with a shout.
Yeah, 100%. I'm with you guys completely. I think it's hard to look at an all-time striker list and not have the striker with the most goals in the Premier League in it. So I'm completely with you guys. Alan Shearer is the first one in our top 5. We'll rank them later. Let's get rid of another one. I think now we're going to start getting into a bit of a difficult time. But let's get rid of one. I'm gonna suggest one, and then let me know how you guys feel about this. 320 games, 213 goals, 47 assists, no Premier League title. Harry Kane. I want to give it.
I knew he's gonna do that, bro. I knew he's gonna do that. I'll second that. Only because I don't have him in my top 5. So I think he was obviously, or still is, a really good goal scorer. For me, the trophy thing isn't that big of a deal because he stayed at Spurs when he could have gone to United. He didn't do it. But yeah, again, I just feel like as great as he is, he just doesn't have that extra, that extra thing that I look for maybe in a striker. And when I give you my top guys and you compare it, you'll kind of get where I'm going with it.
Yeah.
Okay. Trey,
But I'd probably have Harry Kane at 6. I'd probably have him the first spot outside my top 5.
Okay, that's a fair point.
Yeah, I'd probably say the same. I think the biggest thing for him is the fact that he probably didn't win anything. And I mean, 213 goals is no easy feat. He's second on the list. But yeah, I would go Harry Kane out because of the factors that we had mentioned. We talk about longevity, that's one of it, but you have to look at a bit of the titles as well. So yeah.
Agreed. Who says Didier Drogba could get a shout as well? Do you mean shout as in the top 5 or shout as in not getting in the top 5? Let's talk about Didier Drogba, because I think that this for me is one of like the biggest talking points in terms of talking about this top 5 list, because I struggled a lot with this kind of choice to have put him in my top 5 or not. 254 games, 104 goals only, 41 assists, but 4 Premier League titles. Like you guys both were saying earlier, the thing that matters most was the order that they brought. Whenever you played against him, you knew he was going to score against you. He pitched up in the big games. You didn't want him to play in those big games because you knew he was going to be there, that focal point. He was going to bring the others into the game, and he was going to make a big difference for Chelsea when he played. And even though his goals are probably going to be the least amount of goals in this top 5, I think the 4 Premier League titles is undeniable for a team that kind of needed him at the top. And yeah, that order that we were talking about is unbelievable. So I'm still on the fence. I could be swayed either way. Jason, do we think that we're going to put him in?
I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not going to put him there.
Money's gone, that's why.
No, look, I mean, yeah, you could say that I'm scarred, and that's fine because I probably am, and maybe I'm speaking out of a place of hurt. But when I'm looking at official stats, right? So I'm on FPL site, and his Premier League stats go
FPL that he wasn't gonna play.
Yeah.
No, the app is still here. Yeah, let's not split hairs here. Okay, the app is still it's yet to be offloaded. I've got him as only getting 88 goals in 194 games with 41 assists. So if you add it together, goals and assists, not bad. It's 129 maybe, if I'm not mistaken, in 194. But his best season, he scored 29 goals. Everything else, I think he only hit 20 on like one other season, and it has been 12 and 9 and things. So I don't rate him. He had a good maybe 3 or 4 out of his 8 seasons, but I'm not going to say that he's in the best. Like out of everybody that's played, I'm not going to say that he's in the top 5.
Okay.
That's my bold claim, and I will stick with it.
But I would
like
put
that.
him. He was the first guy that I put in.
You put
Why is that?
him as the first guy in your top 5 now over Thierry.
No. See, I never said he's number 1. I said he's the
No,
first guy I
but
put in.
yeah, so why would your first bra be Didier Drogba?
Because I'm a fan. I'm a Drogba fan.
Didier
Bro.
Drogba is
When that
liking
bra come on the field,
Thierry Henry more
he's
than
just.
he like his own O. So that's
I don't care. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me, bro. The Drog is untouchable. He's untouchable. The things that he did, he was just on another level. He didn't score anyway, but when he saw the fixture list and it said, we're playing Arsenal this week, then he put on his superhero suit and then he did what he needed to do. Liverpool, United. And that for me is like what I remember, the big games where he did his his things. And it's just the way that he played was something that I really liked. That physical presence, right? Obviously, a bit of needle, and he could overpower you. You know, as a defender, you didn't want to play against a player like that because you'd feel everything, and he could shoot. I mean, he wasn't just a Van der Nistelrooy who could only score from 6 yards. I mean, he was scoring from everywhere, headers. He was just, and I think at the time the league was shifting to a more skill-based league. It was kind of towards the back end of where that physicality was kind of fading, and that for me is like Riaz used the word order, and it's just those things that I like about it. It was kind of like he's the last of that kind of striker that was that good, where everyone after him was the silky smooth players, the runners, guys at the ball at the feet. So that's what it is for me, and that's why I found a place for him in my top 5.
Okay, let's kind of come back to Drogba because I feel like having someone to match him up with is kind of how I'm gonna have to decide because I can't make a decision.
You carrying the swing vote because as usual you're on the fence. I'm pretty set where I am, and Jason's also.
Okay. Then
so
I'm gonna keep it.
I'm gonna preface and say that I'm not saying that he's a terrible player. I'm not saying that but he's also not going to be in the top 5 for me. So
like you saying he's not terrible. I'm not saying he's the best ever. It's just same thing but opposite.
My disgust is that he was the first on your top 5, and I'm gonna hold you to that for as long as I know you.
Drogba is like one of my favorite players, like ever.
The Drog.
Like I always wish that he played for Arsenal.
The Drog. I mean, he was Ivorian, so it was almost like it was made.
Exactly, Africa and everything. It just ticks all my boxes, bro.
Okay, so wait, hold on. So let's choose. Let's go between. I'm gonna bring 4 United players into this now. And okay, let's start with 2. Let's go with Cole and York. Do either of them make you guys top 5? Cole, 414 appearances, 187 goals, 5 trophies, 5 Premier League trophies. Whereas York, 325 appearances, 123 goals, 3 Premier League trophies. Do either of them, both of course amazing strikers, do either of them make your guys top 5?
Jason, you want to go or are you leaving it with me?
I want to hear what you want to say because now people are hearing me.
So for me, I think as a duo, they were up there with probably one of the best duos ever in the Premier League. But individually, no, not for me. I wouldn't put them in my top 5 at all. I do think Andy Cole was a little better than Dwight York. But again, Dwight York did some amazing things as well. So like I said, as a duo, fantastic. I would say special mention for United. They've had some fantastic strikers over the years. I would say Teddy Sheringham, Solskjaer, obviously for the super sub type of thing. But they're obviously not top guys. There's one guy which we'll leave for later, who's a shoe-in for top 5. It's almost no debate. But yeah, they've had fantastic strikers that deserve a mention. But I think as a collective, you'd probably say they're up there. But yeah, individually, I don't think any of them, other than the one and only,
Well, we'll
can
see.
actually crack the top
There's
5.
another one that might we'll have to get there. But okay, so Jason, are you agreeing? Neither of them make it in the top 5?
Yeah, look, I think the case could have been made for Andy Cole because I did think he was slightly better than Dwight York. But again, I think the thing about
Drogba will
those.
eat Andy Cole for breakfast, lunch, and supper.
Do you think so, though? Do you think so? Is that just because of the order? Because Cole
I
has
think
more
Zad is
Premier League
just being
titles,
very
more goals.
patriotic. His allegiance lies with Emmanuel Eboy. So he's not going to sell out Emmanuel Eboy for anybody.
So, okay, so on this, Jason, do you think that Cole is ahead of Drogba on this list?
Yeah.
Okay. Ziad, you say no.
Doesn't matter.
No. Okay, but now, so Cole has more goals and more trophies than Drogba, but you say Drogba's order then outshines that and takes it over Cole.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you have to play one match with everything on the line, are you picking Andy Cole or Drogba? You're picking Drogba, bro. Let's be honest. So you're gonna pick Cole if you have a whole season. If you have David Beckham who's gonna cross to him and Giggs who's gonna cross to him, and anyway, let's move on. Let's move on.
Let's move on.
It's fine. I was gonna extend that now, but it's fine. People must still go to bed. Who's
let's move on.
Write exams or so.
Yeah, where's Hamza? I'm gonna keep Cole as a benchmark. Right? Let's go to Eric Cantona, the player that Mubin said is the greatest striker of all time. Well, that's the first thing that he said, and then he disappeared after that, after giving such a bad take. Is Cole better than Cantona? Do we see Cantona in the top 5? Ziad, I'll start with you.
He's not better. He is better than Cole by far.
Okay.
He's not in the top 5. I just don't think he has the volume. I don't think he has the volume.
70 goals.
That's all it comes down to.
70 goals, 4 Premier League titles.
Bro, you left Harry Kane out of the top 5. You want to put a Brian with 70 goals. Come now, man. Cantona is also epic. I think if he has that order as well, yeah. I'm a big Cantona fan. But nah, he's not top 5, man. He's not top 5.
Okay, Jason, do you agree?
Yeah, I also think was he not also playing like midfield or so at the stage? Like was he between the two roles?
He was
kinda.
He was like a false nine.
Just striker.
Yeah, not the out and out
striker. He also played in the crowd a bit.
Yeah.
Hey, look, 100%, and I think that was some of his better performances because
definitely
the athleticism on certain volleys that he used to get in the crowd was ridiculous. I'd go out of the top 5, but really great player, definitely maybe then,
Okay, interesting. So no Cole, no Cantona. That leaves us with Aguero, Henry, Drogba, Rooney. We're actually missing one, which is good. We all agree that Aguero, Henry, Shearer, and Rooney are making the top 5. That's what we currently agreed with by eliminating those we've eliminated.
Is that everybody that's on the list? Yeah. Okay.
So there's one guy missing, I think. That he has left off.
That's 9 guys.
But let's see.
I think Riyaz wanted to put in Jermaine Defoe.
No. Listen, you give it to us, brother. You give it to us.
Okay, so we've agreed on 4. We agreed on 4. Aguero, Henry, Shearer, and Rooney. Correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so Jason, who is your 5th one in after that?
Since we don't have the drog.
Since I don't have the drog.
Is it then Cole? Is it Cantona or is it Drogba?
No, then I'd have to. I'd put Andy Cole there.
But then who was your first one in general? Did you have anybody that you were thinking of?
I can't
No,
actually. I think
somebody.
I was looking at, and I
Harry
think maybe
Kane?
a point. Nah, I mean, look, Harry Kane, great striker. I think probably, yeah, between Cole and Kane, I might have gone. I might actually go Kane over Cole, to be honest. If we are talking about,
Yeah, I'd support you on that one,
yeah,
but
I would go that
still behind
because,
Pogba. But anyway,
yeah, look, it's also one of those things, right? I think somebody like maybe Matt Letizia was really good, but because he doesn't have trophies, he'll never
yeah,
be in any chat.
Yeah.
Somebody like Steven Gerrard is exceptionally good.
but
He doesn't he's
it's the Cantona mold, right? Not the out and out striker per se.
yeah. So also
I want
okay, yeah.
to deal with Gerard coming from midfield. Focus on strikers, man.
No,
You're losing your spot here.
I'm making the argument that okay, Harry Kane should be in the top 5, even though he hasn't won those trophies because there's been
But
consistency.
so here's the question, right? Because the one guy that I think we left off, there's actually a couple, but the first one, is actually a Arsenal player, but probably the United fans will claim him. Yeah, it's a Robin van Persie.
Okay.
A top 10 mention, definitely not top 5, but definitely top 10 mention.
Yeah, 100%.
But is it a top 10 from his little time at like the last 3 seasons at Arsenal into Man United, or is it his time in the Premier League?
I think
overall. Because Prem wise, right, he floused us. He had one good season where he was injury free. No, he had one good season for us where he was injury free, right? He scores 32 goals, goes to United, wins the league, plays well there. Before that, bit part player. Like I'm not gonna lie and say like he was this great player for so many years.
Yeah, but that's why I'm saying top 10 mention. He should be in the conversation for the way he scored his goals and the way he played. Couple of other guys I mentioned, Fernando Torres. I think there's some guys here who just weren't in the league long enough to stake that claim. But you could look at guys who had some of the best seasons ever. Fernando Torres would be one of them. You throw Luis Suarez in there as well. The phenomenal run, the time that he spent in the Premier League. And there's a lot of those type of players. Like for me, Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank, playing at Leeds United, one of the best strikers in the league at that time. And there was a lot of players like that who came in, had 1 or 2 great seasons, and that was it. But yeah, if you're talking overall, I think we've pretty much narrowed it down fairly well to a solid top 3, top 4. And you could argue all the angles. Some of us are going to say Aguero. Some people are going to say Shearer. Some are going to say Wayne Rooney. Some are going to say Henry, obviously. And it just depends how you look at football, and what lens you look at things through. I think when all said and done, Haaland will be up there in the mix, at least in the top 10 as a discussion. I know AF obviously would love Rasmus to be in there, but highly unlikely.
He will be eventually.
I don't know if you guys know the reference, but also the Australian
Mark Viduka. Oh my golly. Okay, so hold on.
I mean, even in if you talk about Premier League, right? Another random one quickly here for the Spurs, man, is Jurgen Klinsmann played for Spurs, and he was amazing during his time with Spurs. I mean, he came for, I think it was a loan spell, half a season, and he was just phenomenal for Spurs that season. Mo, obviously, Benny McCarthy had a good season at Blackburn. He was one of the top strikers in the league at that time, goal scoring wise. Yeah, so there's a lot of these strikers, but yeah, all-time greats. I think we've done fairly well to narrow it down to the obvious top 3, top 4.
Yeah, and the fourth one is obviously a bit more difficult. It's if you're going to give me a choice. If you're going to give me the choice between Kane, Cole, and Drogba, I'm going to go Andy Cole. I'm going to go Andy Cole because of, if you look at all the metrics, Premier League trophies, he has more than both. If you look at goals, he has more than Drogba, less than Kane, obviously. So it's a nice balance of that 5th spot, because I think all 3 of us have a top 4 sorted. The top 4 is
Goals
more
probably the
easy.
most underrated one. Underrated.
Yeah.
The one that gets overlooked, especially because of his goals for Newcastle before joining United. You kind of forget that when you think about his career.
Yeah, agreed. Michu is a great shot there, AF as well.
Look here, man. AF's talking about one season wonders. That's a completely different segment. That is Wayne Routledge and Michu tearing up the Swans.
Jonathan de Guzman.
That's something that we can definitely do. Odiana Gallo in those first 6 games at Man United as a Man United fan. Yeah. So
golly. Okay. I think we did really well there. I'm gonna now ask you each for a top 3. We can now that we've gotten our top 5. It was really difficult to get there. I appreciate you guys taking us through this. Just give me an individual top 3s. You had 1, 2, 3 in order. In terms of your favorites in general.
Ziad is there, but
should I do it for Jason or nah?
Nah, do it for you.
Do it for you, man, and then let me hate you for the rest of the week.
Nah, man. I'll keep it simple.
Okay.
Henry, Shearer, Rooney. That's the top 3 for me in order.
Okay, I like that, Jason.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna go the same. It's a hard one between Aguero and Rooney, but I think Rooney, definitely rounds up top 3.
I absolutely love Sergio Aguero. I don't think that's a secret. He's my favorite striker that I've ever seen in the
He's
Premier
one
League.
of your favorite strikers, up there with Yoane Wissa and Brian Mbuemo.
No, for me personally, I love Sergio Aguero. You don't understand how much I love Sergio Aguero. He is my favorite striker that I've ever seen. However, if we're going to do this unbiasedly, I will go Rooney, Henry, Aguero will be my top 3. Shearer 4th, and so on and so forth. But that's kind of where my it's just because I have a bias towards Aguero, and I think that he's won the joint most Premier League titles on this list, so he has to be up there. But so for me it would be Rooney, Henry, Aguero. Obviously, Henry gets that second spot. I think we all agree with that. Biases aside, even if you guys weren't Arsenal supporters, I'd expect it to be up there. But thanks so much, guys, for the amazing segment. It went a bit long, but I appreciate you guys going with me on the roller coaster. Shout out to you guys in the chat. Please like the stream if you haven't yet already. If you guys are watching, just pop that like button up there. Thanks so much for joining us this evening. Jason, where can the people find you on the socials?
On the socials at Jason_Ronnie. I'm still locked into all the transfers. I'm trying to keep abreast of everything like that. But with more games coming up, and I think the Premier League Summer Series, there'll be a few more games happening. So I'll be trying to provide a bit of commentary on that.
Lovely stuff. Thanks, Jason. Ziad, are you with us? Where can people find you on socials?
Oi.
Nice,
that's what happens when you write media drags. Nice gone.
He's gone. Okay.
I focus even on all of them, and I think mainly Blue Sky at this moment in time.
There you go. Mainly on the Blue Sky. Follow the channel as well, Sportycast, on all social media platforms. Where we are very much on Twitter. We update every day. Ziad does a really good job of that on all sort of sporting codes, American sporting codes, tennis, golf, especially. I know Jason and Ziad love golf. You can get us on Instagram as well. Follow us on there. Give us a subscribe on YouTube as well if you haven't yet already. Thank you so much for and the follow as well. Yes, of course. Follow us on all the platforms. Thanks for that, AF. I appreciate you. Thanks to AF as well for being in the background today. Thanks to all of you guys in the chat for all of you guys' opinions. Get us more questions or let us know what you'd like to see on future episodes. And we'll definitely get up to a very late run into the box, Didier Drogba style, I suppose.
This guy's early for the next episode.
Yeah, and he's gone again. Thank you guys so much. Before he makes another late run, I'm going to end this episode.
I think I'm offside.
Yeah, too early. Filippo Inzaghi, if you ever played in the Premier League.
Thanks so much to Ziad, obviously, for joining us this evening. Thanks so much. Thanks to you, Jason, as well. And we'll see you guys next week. In a couple of weeks' time, I don't know much if I should say what was happening in a couple of weeks' time.
We have something exciting. That's all we can say. We have some exciting. Keep your calendars open. First
6th
week
of August.
August.
Yeah, 6th of August is going to be an exciting episode coming up. So keep an eye on that on the socials. And thanks once again for joining us, everyone. It was very fun to kind of get through this top 5 eventually. But we'll see you next week. And peace out.